Today marks exactly 6 months since I left Australia, ripped up a $15,000 visa, which I'd spent 6 years working towards and paid out of my own money. The reason I'm making this video today is because I know a lot of men in their 30s to late 40s feel stuck, whether that's with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, stuck in a relationship they don't want to be in, or stuck in a career they don't want to be in. And I do hate making these videos because it means I've got to be personal, and also as well, I am down the beach. This is where I live. Can you believe I'm still feeling a little bit awkward about making videos out in public? But anyway, let's get back to the point. So, 5 years ago, I quit alcohol because it wasn't serving me anymore. I built my life around a job that I thought I wanted, which was being an electrician, which when I got sober, I realized I absolutely hated. Maybe you're in a job now and you're going out every single weekend, binge drinking. You might consider yourself a high performer, successful. You might have a family, might have bought a house, but just something doesn't quite feel right. And this is exactly how I felt. Through my 20s, I was just drinking, taking drugs, smoking, spending time in house parties. Moved to Australia when I was 30, quickly decided that alcohol wasn't serving me anymore, so it had to go. But then I started feeling, how can I say it? Unsatisfied, not at peace. Everything just felt disrupted. That's the only way I can mention it, or explain it rather. And it took some time for me to work out why. It took me like 2 years to work out why I felt like this. It was because I was going to a building site every day. I was earning the best money that I'd ever earned in my whole entire life. I was living in Australia, which is a beautiful country. I was living in Sydney, in a place called Coogee, down by the beach. You know, life was pretty good, but I was still very unhappy. I was in a relationship with someone that I'd met when I first moved to Australia. We actually met in a hostel, and there was like this nightclub next to it, and we met there. The first 2-3 weeks of dating was just absolute chaos. It was just going out, getting steaming drunk, getting into massive arguments. Both arguing so much drunk. I remembered, but I don't think she remembered. Like, she would forget the next day how bad we actually argued. That's like what our relationship was built on. But anyway, I got sober, and then I realized I wanted to quit my job. So I started an online business shortly after I quit drinking. That was enough for me to be able to stay focused and not go back to drinking. And I think the reason why a lot of you guys keep drinking alcohol, even though you're in a good job or you've got your own house, family, whatever you want to call it, your version of what you thought was going to be success, is because you've achieved this thing and now you've got no vision for the future. And then what basically happens is we have this free time when we're not working, and we feel stressed and we're trying to suppress emotions and feelings. And then we go back to drinking because this is the easiest thing. We just sweep all our problems under the carpet. And we tell ourselves that we're not going to drink alcohol that weekend, but we do. And then what happens is we feel that alcohol's got a hold on us, and there's nothing we can do to stop it because we keep breaking promises to ourselves. And we know deep down that on the outside our life looks good to our friends because our group of friends aren't really doing much anyway, so we look like the best out of the group. But deep down we know that this wasn't the life that we signed up for, and we could be doing more and we could be more if we quit alcohol. So I left Australia, I quit my job, and this is just a powerful reminder. If you're not happy with where you are in life, then you have to take a massive risk. And you have to bet on yourself, but you need to be sober, because if you're constantly in a state where you're drinking and hungover, you're not going to feel confident to be able to quit that job or do whatever you want to do. So December, I basically ripped up a visa, ripped up the dream life of Australia, one-way flight to Bali, as you do. It's like the story, isn't it? And basically living off my life savings until I got a few clients. Took a massive risk, And yeah, that's basically it. Just took the risk, took the jump, living in Thailand right now, which is great. But just grinding every single day. And I almost didn't make this video because I've been posting content every single day, making YouTube videos, making shorts, and I am absolutely, no one cares. But I am absolutely knackered today, but no one cares. No one cares. Work harder, no one cares. The point I'm getting at is if you're not happy in life, you have the power to change it. But so many people don't change it because they're afraid to step out of the unknown. For me, it was the same. I quit alcohol and I was absolutely terrified that I'd have no friends and I'd be in on my own. And guess what happened? I spent like 2 years with not many friends and in alone. It happened. But you know what else happened? I built this life for myself. I got myself out of a prison and I'm now living a life that I really want. It's not perfect, but nothing ever is. You know, I could have more money. I could have a really hot missus right now, a really nice car, but I don't have them things. But I'm working towards them, and that's what keeps me focused. But I took the risk on myself. I moved to Australia when my parents, well, my mother told me no because I had a criminal record, and I basically lied on my visa and told them I didn't have a criminal record. She said, don't go, you'll get stopped at the border and you'll get sent home. And I ignored her. And I went and I took the risk. I spent 24 hours traveling from London, well, from Wales to London, then to the airport in Sydney. Got to the customs and I was talking to some guy and he had like this Steve Irwin hat on and this leather jacket. And he was saying, make sure you've got all your documents in order for customs. Make sure you told them about your criminal record because they're strict and they'll send you back. And my heart was beating in my chest. And then as soon as I got to the customs, I showed the woman my passport and she said, nice modelling photo. And then she let me through. And I took the risk and I got into Australia. And I think it was within 9 months of being in Australia, I decided to quit alcohol. And then I think it was about 1.5 years after being sober, I decided to start my first business, which is a drop shipping business. And then it just progressed from there. A lot of difficult times, but the path illuminates as you walk it. And if you never take that first step, you'll always be stuck. You'll always be where you are now. And I know you don't want to be in that position. So I've got a training video for 2025. The link is below in description. It is the method that I used to break free of alcohol and to break free of a life that I built for myself when I was drinking alcohol. Because that's what happens to a lot of guys. Look at that, it's amazing. There's a lot of fat blokes out here. If you're watching this video, you can't be fat, you gotta get in shape. That's like the #1 rule. If you look good, you feel good. And if anyone wants to question me on that, you can leave a comment in the comment section. But I thoroughly believe if you want to be the best version of you, you have got to be in shape. Because what's the point? What's the point in being alcohol free if you're going to be fat? You want to command respect. That was the first point for me as well, by the way. When I had nothing else to grab onto, the first thing I could do was get my body in shape. I've never been fat, but I was a little bit out of shape, a little bit skinny, and I was sick of the way I looked. So that's the thing that I did. I got myself in shape. So 6 months ago, I left Australia, now live in Thailand, just got my 5-year Thailand business visa. I'm walking along a path and it's illuminating step by step. There's no saying if I made the right decision to leave Australia. It's like that story of the guy who breaks his back or his leg on the horse and he doesn't go to war. And they think, is it a good thing that happened? We don't know. We don't know until the end. So maybe coming to Thailand was a bad thing. But I do know this for sure. I was very unhappy with my life. I was sick of being in the same job, doing the same stuff over and over again. And he needed change. and now I live here. Amazing. So, if you're a guy and you're not happy, or a girl, and you're in your 30s to late 40s, I ripped up my life at 35, and only good things are going to come from here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.